hate is something which is absolutely decaying our society. And I wanted to tell the story of the people who live on the fringe, right, as underbugs, who are used and abused and weaponized as tools to spread hate. There's a very poignant line, I think, of Ali in the film, where he says, "इनके बच्चे कभी दंगों में नहीं आते," और सच्चाई यही है.
I was 7 and Hussain was 4 when our house was burnt and attacked in the Mumbai riots, and we were on the roads living in neighbors' homes in the same pair of clothes for a month, right? And we've seen it up close, like I hope nobody does ever in their life. And it's amazing how Shujaat bhai brought this up, and then all our childhood and all our memories from being riot victims to the mindset that goes into that life, to the people who are affected, to the people who are victims, to the people who are attackers. It all just came out.
The interesting thing is that how do we crack that little truth of life, which is this audience knows this truth. They agree with this film. How do we reach this film to the ones that disagree? We can't preach to the choir our whole life. That's the thing with intelligent cinema. We're always telling people who already like it. Right? It's a very interesting truth of life. And somewhere uska jawab milega kisi din. To karenge theek.
What I found really intriguing about the Underbug is the use of language, of genre, to kind of explore the fractures in our nation. With our current political climate, it's been extremely rare to come across films like this.
Even the fact that Tas's camera sometimes, it used to match my breathing pattern. I remember at one point he's so close to me and I realized, he's like, is he breathing? I'm breathing. Tu hi kar le. So, but so good that sometimes it gets inside your head. And I think somewhere, of course, we've overindulged also. दिख रहा है, मुझे लगा कभी-कभी कि हम थोड़ा सा फैले भी हैं, but है. मुझे तो अभी भी वो, मैं हुसैन को बोल रहा था, उसने कहा मत बोलना. मैंने कहा मुझे तो लगता है वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस ही है थोड़ा सा.
Hi everyone, I'm Spandita. Hello from G5A. And first of all, I want to start by thanking you guys for being here and sharing this wonderful film with us. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to RIcha Chadha for even bringing it up to me. I was so happy to watch it and then program it here. And what I found really intriguing about the Underbug is the use of language, of genre, to kind of explore the fractures in our nation. With our current political climate, it's been extremely rare to come across films like this for many, many reasons. And then it also brought us this like microcosm almost of all of India's contemporary, but also very old anxieties that constantly have plagued us. Around identity, around faith, belonging, paranoia, prejudice. And they all kind of collapse into one another in the film. So it was really, really wonderful. But I'll start off with an easy one. What was the kind of inception of the Underbug initially with you, and then how Hussain and Abbas kind of came into working on this together? Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you for making time and coming and watching our film. Means a lot. The inception of it began during lockdown. So we shot this film during the first lockdown. It was a difficult time, if we can recollect. Tough times. It was dark times. We had no clue what was happening, what was COVID. There was a sense of fear, and also a lot of things which led up to this idea, what was happening in the country, which is still happening. I think there was a bit of a pause because, pardon my language, क्योंकि सबकी फट गई थी तभी. Leading up to that, there was lots of rioting happening and lynchings were happening, and I think we were completely losing our way, and there was this fear that had gripped us. So that initially was where the idea kind of came to me, where um, once we are faced with an unknown enemy, how do we react, right? सब भाग गए थे, सब अपने विलों में छुप गए थे तभी. Of course, it was coming from religious dogmatism, which plagues us as human beings, and that was the larger context that I wanted to kind of portray. And I had this idea because it was in August and we could move around and we could get passes, if you all remember, travel a bit. And I had this thought, and I spoke to Hussain and Abbas first, and I said, I have this idea, and can we just go out and try and do something? And of course, then I spoke to Tasadduk. He was in Delhi. He was going through his own personal turmoil in terms of the Kashmir issue that was happening. Spoke with Ali, and we all seemed to like just wanted to go out and do something because it was stifling. We were all feeling kind of cornered, and I mean, there is only that much that we can do in terms of our art or our profession, where we go out and try and tell stories. So that initially was the push that happened, and everyone came on board, and we decided. And of course, thank you to Vikesh, my producer, who said, "Yeah, let's go out and make this." So I think about 25 of us went to Khandala, begged, borrowed, thankfully didn't steal, from friends, and put everything together and made this film. Actually, we shot it in a week. We stayed there for 10 days, and I think we had a great time, and also in terms of the process. But I think I'll let Hussain and Abbas also talk a bit more about it.
I mean, this was a random afternoon chat. I think Abbas bhai, Shujaat bhai, and I used to always talk in the afternoons because there was really nothing to do in the afternoons during lockdown. Uh, there was you can't really read when the world is burning, so you can't be like I was reading in the afternoons when everybody was dying. So he
Time
just
to time, thali baja rahe the aur mombatti वगैरह जला रहे थे, but that was like.
So Shujaat bhai just had this idea where he said, "Listen, what are your thoughts on this one idea about two people stuck in a house?" And I was like, "But what is it?" And he had, because Shujaat bhai, if you know him, you will know that he's always about the metaphor. So he said, "देख अभी बड़ा प्रॉब्लम आ गया है दुनिया में तो छोटे प्रॉब्लम सब भूल गए सब एक हो गए." And what if two people who hate each other find a ghost? They'll have to fight the ghost or they'll fight each other. Fundamentally, that was the question. And then we opened our life to it. And Abbas bhai, you can elaborate on that, which is we've all seen the riots, the Bombay riots growing up, and we've seen the riots. We were in the riots. We were attacked in the riots. And it's not some sad. I mean, people see other things. People are seeing planes dropping bombs right now somewhere while we are sitting in air-conditioned rooms. So the idea is when you've seen something, it's just that much more simply real for you, and it's not some poetic thought of tragedy for you. You've met those people. I don't know how to say it in a posh way, but I know my friends are rioters, who took to that life. And so, Abbas bhai, you can elaborate more on that time in '93 that we sort of channelized in this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say, but it's uncanny that Shujaat bhai chose Hussain and me to write a film about riot and riot victims. So Hussain I was 7 and Hussain was 4 when our house was burnt and attacked in the Mumbai riots, and we were on the roads, living in neighbors' homes in the same pair of clothes for a month, right? And we've seen it up close, like I hope nobody does ever in their life. And it's amazing how Shujaat bhai brought this up, and then all our childhood and all our memories from being riot victims to the mindset that goes into that life, to the people who are affected, to the people who are victims, to the people who are attackers. It all just came out, and I mean, we wouldn't have got this opportunity anywhere else. I don't think anyone else wants to make films like this, let alone watch films like this. And Shujaat bhai, thank you for this. I mean, we would have never made this film without you. Ever. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
This is awkward.
No, not at all. This is what we're here for. And I think while it was poetic, political, that personal element is really visceral. and I felt it. I'm sure you guys all felt it. So thank you for sharing that. I also wanted to ask, at what point in your process did you think that Hussain would be the lead, the character? Um,
Most importantly, I had no money to pay any other actor. No, I actually wanted a David versus Goliath kind of a physicality, right? With Ali, and I thought Hussain. I mean, who better than Hussain? Because only what they have said about their childhood, I only got to know and I learned during the process. I had no idea that this is what they had gone through. And in fact, I think the times were such that everyone was very angry, very frustrated. It was a roller coaster of emotions. Whether it was Tasadduk, Ali, myself, Hussain, Abbas. In fact, process-wise, I had told Hussain and Ali that you guys write your own lines, right? I mean, there is only that much that I can kind of, direct. So why don't you guys come? That is one mistake as a director I will never do again. Tell actors to write their own lines. That was my learning. But yeah, it was really telling because even Tasadduk, kind of pitched in. Every crew member, whoever was there, had an opinion to give, which was really important. Everyone has gone through a lot, in their lives and their own experiences of being marginalized in some way or the other because of whatever other circumstances, whether it is a class differentiation or whether it is a caste differentiation or a religious one. It's pretty dogmatic in that sense. So that is where I wanted it to kind of free flow and see where we reach. Of course, I had to steer because what I really wanted to tell through this piece is hate is something which is absolutely decaying society. And I wanted to tell the story of the people who live on the fringe, right, as underbugs, who are used and abused and weaponized as tools to spread hate. There's a very poignant line, I think, of Ali in the film, where he says, "इनके बच्चे कभी दंगों में नहीं आते," और सच्चाई यही है ना.
Who's the
मतलब प्रेसिडेंट्स
scapegoat?
हैं और बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं और क्रिकेट भी खेलते हैं आजकल. तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जो होती हैं, लेकिन ये लोग नहीं आएंगे. They'll always use because they really don't give a rat's ass. And that is the fact of the matter. So we are used as pawns, and we have pushed society in such a corner that there is nothing more than a packet of biryani and $500 to collect a mob, and that is the tragedy of it. And that is essentially, I mean, these were the things that I wanted to. Of course, there were lots of points of views of Ali and Hussain and Abbas and Tasadduk and everyone else in the film. The little girl was really scared, I must say. Yeah, she was quite petrified during the shoot, but she wasn't harmed.
She scared all of us, so she's taking her revenge.
No, on a lighter note, we were like 5 Muslims out to make a film about riots. हम लोग सोच रहे थे घर कौन देगा, तो हम लोग ने पारसी को पकड़ा. They don't care. So Amaira, shout out to Amaira because she gave us her house and we shot it. Beautiful house. और वो घर में कुछ
And I
पता ही
remember
नहीं.
Amaira asked me, she said, my parents want to know what film are you making? So that's just like a family drama kind of stuff.
Light.
And I mean, everything you talk about, I think now it's.
Guys, I'll just have 2 seconds of interruption and welcome on stage.
Yay! Ali Fazal, actor.
It's Ali's birthday, 24 hours ago, and because he's still very small, we can just say happy birthday to him.
Nee, I'm so sorry, traffic. So it's Bombay. I got delayed. Hi. Hi.
Hello. This was the surprise, guys, that I was talking about.
No,
But
must
so happy to
be.
have you here, Ali.
Thank you.
Which it's actually great timing for my next question because I think Hussain Ali, this was for me some of the best on screen chemistry that I've seen in a very different way, I would say. And especially with the dialogues, which are brilliant, by the way, and such drastically polarized personas. So I wanted to know a bit more about how you guys played off each other, worked together to create that.
We were well directed, and actually Shujaat bhai had a very interesting thing. He created this playlist for the whole piece, and of course we were. I know I was taking a lot of cues from there, and the way Tasadduk shot the film, and just that chemistry that they had between them. Couldn't have managed our own chemistry without that. Even the fact that Tas's camera sometimes, it used to match my breathing pattern. I remember at one point he's so close to me, and I realized he's like, is he breathing? I'm breathing. Tu hi kar le. So we're so good that sometimes it gets inside your head. And I think somewhere, of course, we've overindulged also. दिख रहा है, मुझे लगा कभी कभी कि हम थोड़ा सा फैले भी हैं, बट है. मुझे तो अभी भी वो, मैं हुसैन को बोल रहा था, उसने कहा मत बोलना. मैंने कहा मुझे तो लगता है वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस ही है थोड़ा सा.
Also because I had told them to write. I mean, a lot of the stuff they've written and they've improvised by themselves, right? Especially in terms of the conversations and the dialogues. And we used to shoot during the day. We used to go back in the evenings and say, what shit have we shot? Let's go back again and reshoot this bit, right? And Tasadduk always had this, okay, I don't think it's looking nice and I need to relight it and all that stuff. But I think it was essentially what understanding they both had and what they wanted to kind of communicate, because we had the larger communication in place, and then it was just the two of them. It was like for me, it was like watching a play. I used to sit at the monitor, and when we had the white shot played out, it used to just play out like I'm in a theater. I'm just watching the two of them kind of battle it out.
Just to add to this, because Shujaat bhai was so clear about this story, and because Ali and Abbas and me and Tasadduk bhai, we were also clear that we had to bring nobody into this story. Everybody has felt this story. Everybody has seen this story. I mean, the only thing that actually Ali and I had to watch was exactly कि कितना हम फैल ना जाएं, और because we go back a long way. He's one of my closest, oldest friends. So it was always about कि हमें हंसी आ जाएगी किसी गलत पॉइंट पे, वो भी संभाल लेंगे हम लोग. Because क्या होता है, we've been on stage together, right? So so हमारा डर ये भी होता था कि मेरा डर ये भी होता था कि अली कोई कभी कभी बहुत इंटेंस एक्टिंग करता था तो मेरे को हंसी आ जाती थी. तो so वो भी हमको संभालना बहुत पड़ता था, because too much familiarity ना, because we've literally grown up over the years together. So we had to, because Shujaat bhai's fear on set also is a thing. Okay, but I mean, he's the best director we've worked with in our life, but his clarity always sort of leads the room. So we didn't ever struggle with where we had to go. And I've always said, cinema is never about the what, not to sound like one Gyani uncle, but it's always about the how, because the very few whats in cinema. The how was very clear. So we were only sort of just fitting into that, and Daniel was also on the ball with that.
Shut up.
We used to call him Daniel Knight Lewis.
Nothing
on set, because
just because I had questions. These guys were writing, and I'd be like, क्यों?
Because
उसके लिए मुझे
knowing him for 20 years, one day he looked at me and said, ठीक लग रहा है तुझे, सब ठीक हो रहा है. And I was like, you're becoming that guy, just kill it. Just go to sleep. So yeah, anyway, sorry.
No, I love it because I think we got a glimpse of where the chemistry is coming from. But yes, yeah, please go ahead.
For the longest time we were scared to even showcase the film. And I want to ask, like, should we be? I think my question, I don't, you saw the film?
Yes, multiple times.
है ना? इतने लोग बोलते हैं इसको थिएटर में मत रिलीज करना, लफड़ा हो जाएगा.
I want to ask about that. I'm guessing it's frustrating, which is why it was very important for me to showcase this film, absolutely. But especially after such a, amazing reception at Slamdance, what has the journey since been like?
Nothing much, yeah. I mean,
Not much.
yeah, I mean, we did our festival rounds and it was very highly appreciated. And we won the grand jury prize as well at Slam Dance. And I also must mention my dear friend Shaunak Sen here. He really helped out with the film, with the editing of it, also with the sound. He spent quite a bit of time, with me. He believed in what he saw, and he really kind of went out of his way and uh, guided us in a huge way. I mean, I was quite alien to the festival. I think when we shot and we came back, we didn't even know whether we've got a film on our hands. It was like, कुछ तो किए हैं, पता नहीं क्या है, let's put it together and see. I think Shaunak really came in and kind of helped me because I was busy with my web series and all. So he kind of really paved the path in terms of pushing it, and Ali and RIcha, of course. But yeah, I don't think we've reached anywhere vacations here, but it's still been a struggle to try and get it out anywhere. Although, I mean, I personally never felt that it is, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, now that we watch it in a crowd and you all were watching it, and I'm actually very happy because it actually pisses everybody off equally, right? It doesn't really, it's because it's about people. So that's a learning we've also had about how people will receive a story. It's about kids who just lost their way. That happens in so many stories. So it's actually reassuring. Nobody's upset
We
yet.
fiddled with the idea. I mean, I've told Shujaat, but if we bring back that 10-minute sex scene, no, with Ali and Hussain, then we can put it on Netflix. But he's just not ready. He won't say yes.
No, but I think today I hope in some way I could at least say there is always an audience who would want to watch this film. Because it's brilliant, powerful performances. There'll always be an audience to watch it. Let's hope we get some more screenings going, and have more and more people watch it. Speaking of, since we were on characters, I think one of the most another character in the film was the house itself, and as you said, a lot of that work came with Tasaduk, and how you guys navigated that. So I want to know, once you got into the house, or how much of it was like premeditated, what was that process with him like for you guys? Because I think there is a lot of, like, the camera is breathing with the characters, and I think a lot of that horror element is very much in the cinematography. So if you could talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, beggars can't be choosers. So I spoke to Amira and I said, I want to shoot in your house. And she said, yeah. So we basically went with what the house was. And Tasaduk and I went in earlier, a day or two earlier. We did a recce and we sorted out the room and, the space how we wanted to. And my production designer, Nitin Gaikwad, did a terrific job again with it.
Nitin's here somewhere.
There he is. So yeah, I think बड़ी जल्दी आए आप. अच्छा. So yeah, I mean, did kind of, we planned it. Everything was kind of planned. I knew where we wanted to shoot and how we wanted to shoot. And then we went, 10 days before, and with Ali and Hussain, we did run-throughs. We shot rehearsals and we shot the pathways and how to kind of maneuver the space. And there were actually really long one takes, like the entire sequence where Hussain, and the beginning of it comes into the house until the time he goes, was a 23-minute one take. Yeah. And some friends said, बहुत पका रहा है तो थोड़ा उसको edit करो, हाँ, बहुत time लग रहा है. So anyways, all of that was, and we worked essentially with 2 lenses, 4 lights, because it was COVID. We could not have huge crews, and we could not. Initially, we wanted to, cinematically shoot it over one night, a story of one night, but we couldn't afford the lighting and the kind of equipment that was needed. But we were really fortunate because all 7 days that we shot, it was overcast and it was raining and it was gloomy, and it really added to the atmosphere of the film. And then we had quite a few candles to burn and shoot. But yeah, it was quite well thought out, and in Tas's head was really there. And I think he did the rehearsals and the walkthroughs really helped because he didn't leave their side at all. He was there throughout with them, shooting them constantly. So it was kind of telling. But the dinner table scene, yes, I knew that I wanted to kind of step back there and go a bit more classical and wait it out, and break it up with the handheld stuff. And yeah, it was quite telling. The set was really dark; couldn't tell where is what is where. So yeah, it's quite crafty, the way he is lit it, and it's quite fantastically done. Actually, I'm seeing it after a long time. Quite enjoyed it. Yeah.
Just before I open it up to a very eager audience, oh, sorry. If you could speak into the mic, we'd love to hear.
It's a good film. I think
Yes,
Karan
it's a
Bhai hai.
wonderful film. I just wanted to ask lastly if any of this, especially after hearing you guys talk, was cathartic for you, or as it did for me, leave you in a space of ambiguity, like the film does at the end. Um, Basically, I'm asking if there's another one coming in the same lines, but more of what the experience as a whole has been like for you with this film. Oh damn, this is for everybody.
Uh, it's been, I think it was also a very troubled time for literally everyone in the world. I think it was post the second pandemic, post that first. Oh shit, first, yeah. So, and we shot this in what, 7 days? I think 7 8 days. It seemed quick and yet not, because we were, वो माहौल ही अजीब सा था. So yeah, those things sometimes add, your environment adds to whatever you do or the things you try and project. And आजकल तो वो माहौल हर जगह ही है पूरी दुनिया में. So I suppose to answer your question is we have to make more films, that reflect some version of that.
Yeah, I mean, poetry often comes out of pain. तो अभी 2030 में प्लेग फटेगा तो हम लोग दूसरा पार्ट बनाएंगे फिर.
Yeah, but I mean, to answer your question exactly, कि वो टाइम ऐसा था कि उस वक्त लग रहा था इससे बुरा कुछ नहीं होगा, बट एवरी टाइम वी थिंक इससे बुरा कुछ नहीं होगा, कोई सरप्राइज आता है कि अब और बुरा हो गया. ओ हो मतलब आई एम not even talking about what is happening in Palestine. I'm not even going there. Okay, I went there. But I'm saying every time we feel कि यार इससे बुरा नहीं हो सकता, तुमको they surprise you with more cruelty, right? The world. So we'll keep trying to make films like this, but we are also learning how to make them
It's
in
tough.
different
It's
ways.
tough. Shujaat Bhai knows more than anyone else. I mean, he's paid for it. He's given his time, money, energy. He's worked day in and day out. I mean, remember post production went on for Shujaat Bhai 3 months, 4 months, and every day we were there for edit. And we didn't have an end game. We didn't know if it's going to come out in the theaters, it's going to bring back any money. We still don't have an end game.
And also, I mean, the interesting thing is that how do we crack that little truth of life, which is this audience knows this truth. They agree with this film. How do we reach this film to the ones that disagree? We can't preach to the choir our whole life. That's the thing with intelligent cinema. We're always telling people who already like it. Right? It's a very interesting truth of life. And somewhere उसका जवाब मिलेगा किसी दिन तो करेंगे ठीक.
Old बालाजी पे आएगा पिक्चर फिर.
I think something we can do, even once we leave this room, is encourage people to watch the film. I really hope we can all watch it and have our friends watch it. And, just to kind of at least do our part in having films like these made and continuing this wonderful, because as you said, it all comes down to what was at the core of the film, who is the oppressed, who is the oppressor? Do we even really know? Um,
And I mean, to answer your question, we'll all have to do really big, bad films to make extra money to make these films, right? That's the balance we'll have to make. Because eventually, as much as we might love this moment needs a few crore of rupees. And those few crore of rupees we'll have to generate. And somewhere, when we cultivate an audience, I'm just telling you that this is a fantastically newish stage. Like how Ali, we've cultivated stages, right? When you cultivate an audience, there's always a chance that in the first 6 months, nobody's going to come to watch your show. And हम लोग नाटक किए अली तूने और मैंने नाटक किए 30 लोग आए 8 लोग आए
I performed to 8 people.
8 people और मतलब देखने 8 लोग आए हमारा कास्ट 11 का है
Yeah.
और हम नाटक जोर लगा के कर रहे हैं मैं कुत्ता बना हुआ हूँ अली बच्चा बना हुआ है
I remember asking, and I think the rule is 6, right?
या 6 इज मिनिमम सो 6 के पे वो 2-3 कमीने आ गए वरना अगर वो 2-3 कमीने नहीं आए होते तो 5 पे हमको करना नहीं पड़ता शो बट द आइडिया इज टू क्रिएट दैट लार्जर ऑडियंस दैट कैन डाइजेस्ट दिस even if they get pissed off with it, it's always good. As long as, I mean, like, we don't get into trouble. But the idea is to cultivate that audience, and I think it's a fantastic, we have to clap for this initiative that cultivates this audience to fundamentally grow up. And right now it's 150 people, and inshallah in time it will become 300. And this will become 600. But often this happens that by the time one venue peaks, owner has a new idea about the venue. So that is also a thing we have to keep a theater running. There's a science to it, if you all have begun. Inshallah, if you run it, this will be a 1,000-seater. Watching this kind of films in time it's a science thing.
it's the hope, yes. Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much,
So,
guys.
so
Thank you,
wonderful
really.
with your time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you to the audience. I will request everyone from Team Underbug to please come up here for a picture with for us. And yeah, have a good night. See you all.